Yo, what's going on with Madden? How is Drew Brees going to be a 91 overall when he is legitly probably top 5 QBs? I wish he was part of the Giants. Like, deadass, this man hasn't had a single season where he hasn't thrown over 4,000 yards. He's accurate as hell. He's the most reliable QB in the NFC department. So far, he hasn't had any off-the-field misconduct, except for his injury that he had early in his career. He has never had a fall-off career moment. He even took the Saints to a Super Bowl run when nobody thought they were going to make it after Hurricane Katrina happened. So, come on, man. The fact that you guys are playing with his ratings is outrageous. I would take Drew Brees over Tom Brady just for the simple fact that I don't have to worry about how Drew Brees is going to perform with his players. Now, the reason why Tom Brady is such a high-ranked QB is because the preparation that the Patriots have for their players is above any other team. Even James Harrison from the Steelers, then Patriots, now retired ex-NFL linebacker, even said it. He's prepared his whole life to play games, but nobody gets you more trained or better prepared than the staff at the Patriots location. So if that's only with their linebackers, what about their quarterbacks? What about their receivers? That's why they can have somebody like Judah Edelman running around like he was, the greatest receiver of all times. That's why he sometimes gets more credit or more hype sometimes than Julio Jones, especially with the Patriots department. Now, Boston is a great city for sports. They love their teams regardless if they're good or bad. Boston supports their people, which is something that most other, fans don't really do. The Giants fans, we have a bummy season. We're going to say everybody's trash. We should just redo the whole scripture. But Patriots, they have a bummy season. Oh, well, they'll come back next year. I live in D.C., so you hear them all the time, Redskins fans saying, oh, man, next year we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Next year we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Same thing with Cowboys fans over here. Y'all hear them say, oh, man, yeah, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, everybody else is just like, we might get it this year. We might do it that year. But nobody's as hardcore as a Pats fan. That's why Tom Brady's such a high-ranked QB. Aaron Rodgers himself, he's a bad man. He hasn't had a single defensive team since he pretty much got in the league. The Green Bay Packers are boo-boo compared to what they should be without Aaron Rodgers. If you put Aaron Rodgers in the Brady's position, he will also have all those rings. Put Aaron Rodgers with Eli's team, he will have probably the same or equal to as Brady rings, or probably a little bit more, just because the Giants has had a steady defense, great receiver core, and they haven't had any problems as Green Bay has. Maybe our coaching staff is not A1, but at the end of the day, it's still there. But the fact that you guys are just gonna make Drew Brees be a 91, that is disgusting. Same thing with Wentz. Wentz almost won MVP if it wasn't the fact that he got screwed over in that Rams game. Or I think it was Seattle. I don't really care. My girl's the Eagles fan, not me. But, if it wasn't for that one game that he got messed up at, he would have walked away with the MVP trophy. And he probably would have got a Super Bowl MVP trophy too. So, at the end of the day, you guys can't say that, oh, so-and-so is higher ranked, especially with how he performed the year before. It's like J.J. Watt wasn't there all last season, so therefore J.J. Watt shouldn't really be a 99 overall or a 98. He should drop down, be an 80 or a 78 until the next update comes out. Because at the end of the day, he didn't really perform last season. Same thing with OBJ. OBJ shouldn't be a 91. He was great the season before. He was great before he got injured, but he got injured. Therefore, he should really have a drop off. Sterling Shepard should be a little bit higher than OBJ just for the simple fact he made it longer through the season. Evan Ingram should be a little bit higher than OBJ just because he made it through the whole entire season. Just because you're a big name doesn't necessarily mean you had a great season. TJ Watt should be higher rated than JJ Watt just because he had a better season. His team was in the playoffs longer, and he was actually contributing to his team being in the playoffs. Now, I'm not knocking on JJ. I love JJ. At the end of the day, I will put him on my mud team if I had the coins for it, but I don't. Same thing with, Juice. Juice should be a higher rated than, than OBJ. And Jarvis and, OBJ are best friends. Juice been consistent since he's gotten in the league. You give that man the ball in the slot and he will get you 2-3 extra yards after a hit. OBJ sometimes can't make it out of it just like Juice, but Juice powers it through, and he's a great run blocker. If you ever see him, blocking for a Jai or whoever he wanted to block for, this man gets down and physical. He doesn't care. He would go up against Donald if he has to. He will get down and put the X up, and he will take the hit, because at the end of the day, he knows what he has to do to make his team be successful, especially playing for Miami, which is not going to get a Super Bowl. But we're not here to talk about that, But yeah, you can't have, these people just because they have a great name or because of something they did 2 years ago be a higher rank than somebody who actually performed better this year. Okay, Eli Manning, he should be probably a high 78 or something like that because he really didn't perform that great. Now, granted, he didn't have anybody really that he usually throws the ball to with rhythm and timing and all that stuff. Our offensive line is atrocious. Eric Flowers should probably be a 49 overall to begin with, but that's not what we're here to talk about. With our offensive linemen being as boo-boo as it was, at the end of the day, Eli, he didn't have enough time to throw the ball. But hopefully with Will and all the upgrades we got, hopefully we can see some of the vintage Eli from 08, make that run again. Same thing with Saquon being there. Saquon is just going to be somebody who's going to distract the defense and, make them think, well, they could probably run it, pass it, something slight without having, OBJ taking all the workload, Evan taking some of the time off of OBJ, like everybody coming through. Our defense last year was pretty much solid if it wasn't the fact that our offensive team couldn't buy them some time to even sip on Gatorade. You saw JPP frustrated, which I'm glad he's in Tampa because at the end of the day, this man needs a break. All these years of him being on the field for all those times, even after his injury, it's really phenomenal. He's amazing. Olivia Vernon got injured, DRC got injured, Collins got injured, Jack Rabbit got injured. I think at one point we were throwing in our water boys. I didn't even know some of the people's names that we were playing with. And I really like this squad, So at the end of the day, you guys can't really give these people a crappy rating just because they're not such as big name. Look at Leonard Fournette or Leonard from the Jacksonville. He was 80 whatever it is. He was top running back in the game he had against Pittsburgh. Was freaking amazing. He pretty much made Pittsburgh his new home. That was his house compared to Le'Veon's house that day, especially the way they ran off for the playoffs. Now, granted, they didn't make it past Brady, but come on, if we all knew it was going to be the Patriots versus whoever it is. Same thing this season. It's going to be the Patriots versus somebody else. We just got to find out who's they're going to play. But the fact that you guys didn't give Forte, his due credit, he should be up there with Gurley. He should be up there with, Andre Johnson. And Johnson didn't even play the whole season. All these guys, just because they have a name or they had a really phenomenal breakout season, you don't want to give them credit for what they did this season. Kareem Hunt did great. Everybody was all eyes on Hunt. Kamara was amazing for the Saints as well. He should be a good 89 or 88 overall, especially with the way that he was playing, catching the ball, being, elusive as he was, taking those hits that he did and still making it through, making those touchdowns. He was amazing. Tyreek Hill should probably be one of the top 3, overall receivers. It should be, Julio Jones, what's his name, DeAndre Hopkins, AB, and then, Tyreek or somebody else. Everybody had Tyreek in their fantasy points. So you mean to tell me that based on that, he shouldn't be like a high 80 or a low 90? Like, that is ridiculous. Same thing with, defensive-wise, Jacksonville. Jacksonville should be the best defense on Madden 19. The simple fact, everybody had Jacksonville defensive players on there. We all had Jalen Ramsey on Mutt. We all had whoever they have for safety. At the end of the day, we all were getting Calais Campbell, all these people that Jacksonville has, you know, and setting up blitzes like it was Jacksonville, just because we all wanted that same power and speed. Nobody was putting Dante Hightower from the Patriots on their defense, unless you're a Pats fan. Nobody was really putting, you know, Giants players on their defense, unless they're Giants fans. You know, we all get Sean Taylors or Rod Woodson or all these other big names, superstars that are come out at Legend Car. But players playing now, you know, everybody wanted the Jacksonville squad just because of how tight they was. You know, it's like back in the day when Legion of Boom was popping. Everybody had them because they were popping. So, you know, the fact that they don't want to give these guys the ratings just because they're not that big of a household name, that is boo-boo. Yeah.